Hey, everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Sports Weekend with the man himself here, Austin. It is almost football time.
It's about
What
close,
is it?
isn't it?
It's 9 days until the first game, I think. Until the first. We get a little bit of flavoring on the weekend of the 24th hour just before we get into the really good stuff, but I am so ready for it. But before we get started, we got a little breaking news before we
Got
get
the little
started.
bulletin.
Yeah. Thanks again for SevereTV.com for setting us up here in the big, nice, huge new studios here. Thanks for that. And thanks again for Autographs Plus over here for sponsoring us. Got a couple Tennessee helmets since we're going to be talking Tennessee today. Got a little sign, Dylan Sampson. Got a little sign, Jalen Hyatt there. But before we get into Tennessee, we're going to do a little Tennessee special today. Talk a little bit
Doing
about
little news
Tennessee.
bulletin time
But we
first.
do have the breaking news. What you got there for us, Austin?
Injuries.
We got a lot of injuries going on right now. There's always
Texas, the
injuries.
Texas Longhorns only have 3 running backs because their starting 2 got injured.
Ooh, and they were going to lean pretty heavy on their running game this year. So, but luckily they do have a veteran quarterback. So maybe they can maybe they'll have to lean more on him now.
Speaking of quarterbacks, the Vikings rookie first round pick quarterback J.J. McCarthy, 9th overall in the draft, will not play this year because of a torn meniscus.
I have had that injury before. They have to do 3 incisions around your knee and go in there and clean up the meniscus in your kneecap. And yeah, it takes a while to get over that one. So yeah, he's going to be out for a while. Then it's not a reconstructive surgery. They just go in there and do a little scraping and a little cleaning and get it cleaned up. So he should be good to go next year.
And the last up with the big injuries, Matt Milano, their Pro Bowl linebacker for the Bills, has tore his biceps.
Well, he'll probably be out for the season too. Then if he tore his bicep, because that's
a lot.
as a defensive player, you got
to use your biceps.
you got to use your arms and your hands, to get off people and tackle people. So he'll be done for a while.
That's it for the injury side of things.
What else we got going on?
Arizona and UCLA basketball will meet up for the next 3 years in a deal for basketball.
I love college basketball. That sounds like a pretty good series there. Both of those teams are on their way up. Neither one of them are in the
Pac-12
anymore, but
they'll still continue their rivalry off of it.
I'd say that's actually something positive. That's good.
The Falcons continue to bolster their roster up a bit by picking up a former Pro Bowl safety, Justin Simmons, and just traded for Matthew Judon, a Pro Bowl linebacker from New England.
Matthew Judon is a big plus. He is a very good linebacker, so that's really good. Something else to talk about the Patriots. I don't know if you picked this up, but I think it was late yesterday. They cut Juju Smith-Schuster. The Patriots did too. So he is no longer there. That'll give somebody else a chance to pick up Juju, but the Patriots cut him yesterday.
He's probably on the downswing of his career at this moment.
He is, but he's worth a spot somewhere. He's worth a good off the bench. He was a fantastic player whenever he was in there. Well, what else you got for us?
And to end things off, we will we will mention 2 things. Pilot did buy the advertising rights to Neyland Stadium, but they will keep the name.
Yeah, Neyland Stadium still stays Neyland Stadium, and Watkins Field still stays.
Pilot's just going to put their logo everywhere.
Pilot's logo will be from the 30-yard line, in between the 30 and 40-yard line on the visitor side and the home side.
A lot of people have problems with commercialism.
Yeah, I don't want Pilot on the jersey. I don't want to see a Pilot
just
on the jersey. It's okay sticking it on the field. We have field sponsors all the time. Whenever you do bowls, there's field sponsors' names on the fields and
We've
stuff
already
like
got
that.
Thompson Bowling renamed Food City Arena.
That I've got a problem with still yet. It should still be Thompson Bowling Arena and not Food City Center at Thompson Bowling Arena.
Which one sounds more creative and more original? Thompson Bowling or Food City Arena?
I don't know. I still don't like that the best in the world. So kudos at least for Pilot saying we'll sponsor the field and we don't have to have our name on the stadium. I would have cared if they would have had a Food City Center on the logo on the court for the basketball. Just keep it off the front. But that I'm not really against that because it gives Tennessee a huge amount of money that they'll be able to improve stadium, so on and so forth, improve the weight rooms, the workout rooms, the practice field, whatever they need to do to make our teams better. So I'm not totally against that, just as long as they keep it on the down low a little bit,
And Florida State and Georgia Tech will kick it off on August the 24th for our first game.
That is our first game of the year.
The appetizer.
The appetizer. We've got a few other games sprinkled in that day too, but the main game is the Florida State Georgia Tech. I am really, 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 really super looking forward to some football. Let's go ahead and jump in. We're just going to really quickly. First of all, we got to sit in on a UT practice. Last Friday, we got to see the offense versus defense. We got to see them run through their drills, do a little scrimmage against each other, and I was really impressed. I don't know about you, but I was really impressed with our defense. Our defense,
specifically the line, in my opinion.
I'm gonna go ahead and bold statement for the football season. This is my bold statement.
What's your bold statement?
Tennessee's will have the number one run defense in the SEC.
Well, if you got a top pick in the draft at James Pierce Jr. off of the edge, I guess that gives you a lot of confidence in that.
I'm pretty comfortable saying that. I'm not reaching for the stars or anything like that. ESPN has named James Pierce Jr. the number one player in the country for the season.
That's amazing, actually, that we have.
We've got the number one player in the country playing on our team, and I guaranteed a top 5 pick. If he's not the number one pick, if there's somebody needs a quarterback, he will be the first defensive player gone. Tennessee will have. I'm saying overall they will have a top 2 or 3 defense completely in the SEC, maybe in the country, and they will have the number one rush defense in the SEC.
Pass defense is the thing. Pass defense. The secondary is really young, and we suffered an injury at safety.
Yeah. Luckily, we got Boo Carter can step in. He is opening some eyes. He's a freshman. He's going to make some freshman moves, some freshman mistakes probably. But I'm picking Tennessee to have their defense. Last year our defense finished like 4th in the SEC. I think our defense was good last year. They won us like the Texas A&M game. We won with a low-scoring game. Our defense played decent last year. Our secondary was a little soft at times, but this year, man, they look good. I'm picking this the number one, maybe number one overall defense in the SEC, but we would definitely have the number one rush defense. Our offense looked efficient. We had a good Nico had a couple good passes there. Had a couple good touchdown passes. I think our offense will be good no matter what. I think we will have the number one wide receiver room in the country. Also, those guys, they're 5-6 deep at wide receiver. I don't know how you're going to account for them.
Now
all,
here's the thing, though. The coordinators are on the short leash.
Yeah, the coordinators have to prove this year.
Housel, in particular, is on big short leash that no one really talks about because Heupel is seen as the offensive guru behind all of the show. Mm-hmm. And then, especially Tim Banks, there was one person mentioned on a Tennessee program one time that Tim Banks was on a short leash because this was the year, I think, that he had to really get his defense to play up to par somewhat with the offense, not completely.
Last year, the defense outplayed the offense. If you look at all the numbers, our defense outplayed our offense last year. Our defense finished top 4 in the SEC. Our offense, I think, was 8th. So our defense was ranked-wise twice as good as our offense.
So by your explanation, Housel has a lot more to prove.
Housel has more to prove this year than I think Banks does. Rodney Garner is
D-line coach.
Oh, he is the best thing out there. Rodney Garner is, I think, the best D-line coach in the business right now. Tim Banks has brought in a bunch of new talent, a bunch of fast, twitchy players out there. We got a 26-year-old linebacker that has stood. That is, they're calling him the old man now. He's going to be. I think our defense. I don't think we got to worry about our defense this year. I really don't. I think our defense,
Outside of some secondary things,
outside of some questions in the secondary, but we've got the talent there. They just have to play. We've got the talent. But I think Joey Housel has to prove more than anybody because he's got more talent this year than
he's had in his whole coaching career at this point.
Yeah, and
he's the guy who has the keys.
Brazel, the transfer from Tulane, has come in, and Heupel said he fits his system better than any player he's ever had at Tennessee.
That means Heupel is giving Housel the keys to the hot rod.
He's gave him the keys to a hot rod. The wide receiver room is loaded. We've got a Heisman candidate quarterback. We've got, I think Dylan Sampson may be the next Alvin Kamara. We've got a little bit of injuries in the running backs, a little bit of injuries on some of the offensive line. Makes you pull back a little bit and dread a little bit maybe that we don't want to go through the injury bug like we did. We're so deep this year. I don't want to go through the injury bugs like we did last year. But we've got a fantastic tight end room. We got 3 fantastic tight ends. We got 5 fantastic wide receivers. We got 3 good running backs. We got an offensive line that is led by Mays. We got to keep Mays healthy, dude. He's the key to our offensive line. We got to keep him healthy.
Proper conditioning.
Yeah, he's good. He is. Him in and him out night day. We got to keep him in there.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the keys.
Yeah. So
plus they also the play calling. I'd hate to really harp on this aspect because it was an issue last year. Because they seem to throw too many side screens all of the time.
No, I don't know if we'll do that. Well, we've got so many fast wide receivers, they still may play with that. But we got Brew McCoy back. I still think Brew McCoy will be in the NFL. If he doesn't get hurt this year, he will be in the NFL next year. He is that good. I think he's that good of a player. He will be in the NFL. You put Brew McCoy and you put Brazel, you put Squirrel White. You don't need much more than that, but we still got 3 or 4 more wide receivers. It's crazy how good we are. We'll just really quickly jump through the schedule here, and we'll go win and loss. Of course, we start out with Chattanooga.
That's a warm up game. That's one of those warm up games that you get usually first game of the year. You want to face someone. Chattanooga's coming over there basically to get the. I'd really hate to
take the money, take the beating. I'd
hate to discredit them because they're not really in the same.
No,
they're not in the FBS.
No, they're our little cousin going to come up and we'll pay them, how much ever money it is.
A friend of mine personally does go to Chattanooga.
Yeah. But Tennessee starting out the year, we won't go over rankings until probably next week. But Tennessee starts out number 15. Our second game is against a ranked team, number
NC State
24. It's at a neutral site in Charlotte. I still count that as a W. NC State though is a very good.
That's a possible trap game.
That is a trap game, but I don't think we're going to fall into that trap. I think that's a W. We got Kent State after that.
That should be another warm up. That's late at night though.
It is
somewhat late at 7:45.
It's a 7:45. I'm not going to fuss about that because man, it's hot in that stadium that time of year. So I'm not going to say about that. Our 4th game of the year is
a trap game.
Every
single way, honest. Oklahoma. It's a personal one for Heupel.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Heupel used to be the starting quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners when they won a national title back in 2000.
Yeah.
So that's going to be personal.
They fired him.
We got the positive and the negative out of the way.
Yeah. He used to play for Oklahoma, and they fired him. He won. What? He won the Heisman, runner-up in the Heisman, and won the national championship. Anyways, but yeah, and he was a coach there, and they fired him.
Bob Stoops must have had a rough day then.
They fired the whole staff whenever Stoops went. They fired everybody. So yeah. See, that line, Oklahoma is actually favored by 4.5 that game. I think that is the turning point game for Tennessee's season.
Yeah, the Oklahoma will field a competitive team year after year. That's one thing I've always expected.
Tennessee's ranked 15th. Oklahoma's ranked 16th. Oklahoma's favored by 4.5. They're at home. It's Heupel going home. Rah, rah, rah. I still think Tennessee wins that game because I think Heupel will not want to lose that game. I hope he don't. I hope he doesn't look past anybody. Of course, I don't think he will, but I don't think he wants to go home and lose. I think he wants to go home and see what you lost. See, you could have had me. So I'm going to count that as a W. I think that's a turning point. I think that's the difference between Tennessee making the playoffs and not making the playoffs is this Oklahoma game.
Though I have had more positive experiences with Oklahoma fans crediting our stadium as a very
I don't
tough
have
environment.
anything. I don't have
I
any
have
trouble.
nothing
I have
against
nothing against
I have nothing
Oklahoma. No.
Nothing against Oklahoma whatsoever. They're
No.
brand new to this.
Yeah.
This is their first SEC games against us.
That's their first SEC game in their history. It's Tennessee. That's
Well,
going to be a
just
good
give them a
game.
little bit of a
That's going to be a good
give them a
game.
welcome.
Yeah. After that, we got Tennessee at Arkansas.
Another opponent we don't face enough.
No, I think we should win that one.
Arkansas is kind of in a desperation year, if I could tell you.
They are, yeah.
Sam Pittman's coaching for his job.
Tennessee on the strength schedule on the strength meter. Tennessee's a 75-25 favorite in that one. I think Tennessee wins that one. After that, we got Florida at Tennessee. I hope we win by 50. I mean, Florida plays us tough no matter. It's sort of like Kentucky in basketball. No matter what, it's going to be a close game. But I hope we beat Florida.
Yeah, Florida's been has given us a gator bite sized pinch in our nerves, if you know what I mean. In terms of all of the, I can't get the words out of my mouth right, but they've been the thorn in the side.
Yeah, the pain, the Achilles heel. We've tripped
Was
over
always-
so many times. Yeah, I think we beat them this year, and I think we beat them by 10+ points. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think we beat them by 10+ points. We got Alabama, Tennessee.
How about that for a back-to-back schedule?
Again, the Oklahoma. Yeah, we got Arkansas, Florida, and Alabama. Florida and Alabama back-to-back.
Florida and Alabama, two of our oldest rivals, back-to-back.
Alabama at Tennessee. It's actually a really close game. Alabama's favored, I think, by 2.5 points.
Alabama's
right
an
now.
anomaly right now, but they have talent.
I think I would like to say Tennessee wins that one, but I don't know.
Really depends on how Alabama looks.
Yeah, between Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia, I think we lose 2 and win 1. I'm picking Oklahoma as a win just because of the environment that is going to be. But if we lose Oklahoma, then we have to win Alabama. We can't lose all 3. I think we lose to Georgia no matter what.
Well, Georgia right now has been, despite the cultural problems that obviously happen off of the
Which
field,
may make the team implode here within the next year or two. We don't know.
But Georgia right now they are recruiting very, very well.
Yeah. So Alabama, Tennessee, I'm going to lean towards Alabama just because it's hard for us to beat Alabama. That's only because I'm picking Oklahoma. I'm really, honestly, we could beat Alabama. We could go, we could just be a 1-loss team, but I'm picking a 2-loss team. So Georgia being 1 loss, I'm going with Alabama as our second loss. It could be Georgia and Oklahoma. So either Georgia, Oklahoma, or Georgia, Alabama, I think are our losses. We got Kentucky after that, and
It should be. It's a rivalry game, and they're frustrated.
We'll be in black, and we'll beat them by 20.
Kentucky faithful. If you haven't heard of a viral video, one guy was very, very frustrated about losing.
That was funny.
Like Tennessee
Just
has been
beat Tennessee. I don't care how you do.
You
Yeah,
know,
that was funny.
You know how Florida is the crunch in our side?
We
We're
are-
the crunch in their side right
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm. After the Kentucky game, we got Mississippi State. We're at 85-15 favorite in that one. We should win it pretty good. Then we got Tennessee at Georgia.
At Georgia, that's a loss.
I think that's our definite loss there.
because it's at Georgia, and Georgia is coming together. They've got a very talented team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This year.
Yeah.
It seems like that's been the trend under Kirby Smart at Georgia for a while. Despite the cultural problems, I just think that they have like a lot of talent.
They got so many 4 stars, 5 stars. After that, we cruise in home with UTEP at Tennessee, which we will win that fairly easy, and then Tennessee at Vanderbilt. That's another home game.
It's a traditional rival, but Vanderbilt's not
Yeah.
really been much of a threat.
So I pick us finishing 10-2, and making a playoff spot.
Where would we be at?
I think somewhere around the 10th or 11th spot, maybe up to 9th by the time, because if we lose the Georgia game, it's going to be towards the end of the season, which is going to knock us down. If you lose early, not too bad. If you lose late, it always hurts. So I think we'll be a top 10 team in the playoff, I think. So I think we're 10-2, go to the playoffs, and I think we have the number one, if not number one overall defense in the SEC, at least the number one
rushing
defense in the SEC. That is my bold statement for this year, and I think Nico has a fantastic year too.
All right, that's your prediction?
That's it. That's it, and that's all we're going to cover this week. Next week, we'll jump back in, and we will probably go ahead and have our first college football
preview show for week one.
Oh, week one preview show for college football next week.
There's going to be
it's
some
back.
Overreactions.
Oh,
to
yes,
the
there will.
max.
There's going to be some overreactions, definitely.
After one win and one loss, you're going to overreact.
The season's over, or we're going to win it all, baby. That's the way it is. All right. Thanks again for stopping in here with us. Thanks again for Severe TV for setting us up here. Thanks again for Autographs Plus here sponsoring us. Be sure and check us out. Share us with your friends, and we'll see you next week.